exercise 41, we'll be looking at urinalysis. These are the characteristics of urine. This is going to be really short and sweet. So when we're talking about urinalysis, this is going to be urine and its characteristics. So there's a couple standard characteristics that urine should have. So we're going to go kind of in order. So the first characteristic that urinalysis will be looking at will be the color and transparency of the actual urine. So whenever you go to the doctor and you give a urine sample, these are some of those characteristics. So color and transparency is the first one. The color that your urine should be is going to be more of a yellow color. Probably all know that. With color, it should be yellow and it should be almost transparent. It should not be thick and cloudy. This signifies whether or not there has been enough water in your system. So the darker and the more cloudy it is signifying the need for you to take in water, whereas the more yellow and almost transparent it is, the more hydrated you are. Another characteristic is going to be odor. So while we all know that urine actually does have a smell, we're talking in this particular characteristic not of stale urine, but of fresh urine. And fresh urine will be considered aromatic, which is probably not what most of us will think of urine as, but the odor of fresh urine would be aromatic. What happens when it has been sitting around and then you get that stale odor smell, that is actually going to be more of an ammonium smell. And that is what most of us will identify as the urine smell, is going to be that ammonium. But that's not the fresh odor. Fresh urine should have a little bit more of an aromatic type smell, whereas ammonium will be stale urine smell. Another characteristic is going to be involving pH. So as we talked with our apparatus that lives inside our glomerulus that helps regulate our pH with our hydrogen ions and our DCT tubules, pH of our urine is very important because it tells a lot about the homeostasis of our body. So the pH of urine should be between 4.5 and 8.0. So it should be somewhere more on the slightly acidic side, between 4.5 and 7, with a slight variation from 7 to 8 on the basic side. So the average pH, if that's the range, the average pH is going to be around 6.0. So that means it will be, or it should be, acidic. So there should be an acidic nature to your urine. The next thing is going to be something called specific gravity. And usually in an in-person class, this is a really cool experiment where you get to do specific gravity. So just to kind of give a little bit of background, specific gravity is the relative weight of a volume of liquid. So usually when we're talking about liquid, we measure it in milliliters in volume. However, specific gravity is talking about the relative weight of that volume of liquid. And really what it is it's actually going to be weighing the liquid plus any solutes. So remember, liquid would be the solvent, the things that are in the liquid. Any solids would be the solute, any particles, any other ions. So specific gravity is technically weighing anything that's in the liquid, and they're doing it by comparing it to actual gravity. So what they're doing is they're comparing it to distilled water. So this is where that specific gravity comes in. If you have distilled water, that means there is no ions or no solutes in it. So if you compare something that has a liquid that has solutes in it, you're essentially going to have a different weight. So if this is condition 1 and this is condition 2, we're going to call our number 1 our distilled H2O. And this one's going to be our urine. our distilled H2O should have a specific gravity of about 1.000, which means the weight of this liquid is about 1.00 concentration. If we have urine, if you have urine that is 1.001, this is going to be very dilute urine. Very, very dilute urine. If you have greater than 1.0001, you'll have more solutes in your urine. So it's all compared to just the volume of liquid when you weigh it, and they're doing it compared to distilled H2O. So that's the premise of urinalysis.